Hello again and welcome to another Morning and Glory Imperial Guide video, and today guys I'm excited to bring to you an update on the Mordiang and Glory painting competition, Trooping the Colour. Now for those of you who don't know anything about this painting competition, it's something that we are running inside the Mordiang and Glory Discord, so if you are a channel member or Patreon supporter you can get involved and you can score points for your team. Essentially it is a friendly interregimental painting competition that is designed to build a bit of a community and help you get through your pile of shame and painting backlog. If that's something you'd be interested in, then check out the video that I'll link at the end of this one that'll go through the full rules and details for how you can get involved in the painting competition. And don't worry if you think you've missed the boat, you absolutely haven't. This painting competition is running from now until November the 4th, and you have all of that time. You have in fact until the last day to sign up, get involved and win some points for your favourite regiment. Without further ado, let's crack on with today's video and find out where the teams are up to so far. So I've created two leaderboards for the competition. One includes all of the total points vowed by a team, and the other one shows just the points that they have completed so far. I think that's an important distinction to make because a team may vow loads and loads of points, but at the end of the day it's only vows that are completed that actually go towards your final score. So it will be interesting to see how these two tables match up over the next weeks and months, and it will be interesting to see if the regiment that actually had the most points vowed ends up winning, because it could be that a regiment makes a lot of vows but actually has really bad follow through, and that means they don't end up winning the competition. Now, when we last checked in on the TTC, when things were first getting started, in the first week or so, Cadians were massively ahead, and the initial flurry of vows that came in was certainly focused around the Cadians, the Valhallans and the Catachans. But since then, we've had our first full complete month of the TTC, and things have certainly mixed up and changed. Now we have Krieg at the top. The Krieg faction originally had a very slow start, very Krieg-like of them, but since then they have been gaining more and more methodical momentum, and their total points value now is very impressive, and they have the highest number of points vowed, with only Cadian coming in a distant second. There is 1,400 point difference between Krieg and Cadia, so there's a lot of points that the Cadians are going to need to make up if they want to challenge the Krieg supremacy. After the Krieg and the Cadian, we have a surprise one, which is the Valhallans. Now, the only reason I say it's a surprise one is they're not the most well-known regiment. They're not up there. They're not the poster boys like the Cadians and the Krieg are. But they've actually done really, really well. We've got a proper die-hard, hardcore following for the Valhallan Ice Warriors in the Mordiang and Glory Discord. So that's a really pleasant surprise. And I have to say, it's a very respectable amount of points that have been vowed by the Valhallans. 5,270 is nothing to sniff at. We've also had a bit of a late game surge from the Mordian Iron Guard, who are coming in 4th. Now, originally the Mordians had a really low vow rate. We had about 1,000 points between the first 3 players. But then we had an absolutely stonking vow come in by user Still Unsure, and he actually has the biggest individual vow of anyone across all of the regiments, with over 3,000 points vowed in a single go. So really that Mordian total points vowed is inflated by one person. But for those of you hearing that and thinking, oh, it's just one guy, I wouldn't get complacent, because he is making some absolutely staggering progress over a short amount of time. So well done Still Unsure, and well done the Mordian team in general. We've managed to get ourselves close to that podium. A few big vows from the rest of us, and despite the fact there's only 4 of us, we might actually have a slot on that podium. After that, we've got the Catachans. Now, surprised about this, Catachans were at the start of the TTC one of the contenders to challenge the Cadian supremacy, but after initial flurry of vows, we haven't seen much more from them. Seems like the Catachan players had some stuff in their backlogs, but we're not seeing a huge amount of repeat vowing from that faction. Following this, we've got the Steel Legion, who are coming in with a very respectable 2,770 points. And in fact, there's only about 200-ish points between them and the Catachans. So the Steel Legion are very much nipping at the heels of the Catachans. And after them, we've got the Talan with 2,215, which is a very respectable amount of points. And what's really interesting about the Talan vows is they're all fairly similarly sized. A lot of other factions have got big variances. Some people just vowing a single officer, others vowing vast swathes of infantry and super heavies. But for the Talon, it seems like they're all fairly steady Eddie. All of the points are between 400 and 750 when it comes to the size of the vows. So what's interesting is the Talon actually have one of the highest average vows per user across their faction. So that's a really sort of interesting little quirk that I just thought I'd point out. After that, we've got the Heretics, which I'm doing quite well. I'm very surprised about that. I thought that considering there's only about 2 of them that are involved, they'd struggle and maybe not get as much done as the Loyalist regiments. But the Renegades and Heretics, the Lost and the Damned, are putting in a damn good showing. And they are actually above some Loyalist regiments, which is a bit of an upset, a bit of a mark of shame for those regiments that get outdone by the Renegades and Heretics. After this, we've got the Vestorians, and whilst they might only have 1,237 points vowed, they actually have one of the highest average completion rates. For a time there, the Vestorians had a 100% completion rate, but they have added a couple of extra vowels to their roster now. But overall, I would say that the Vestorians, out of their 1,237 points that they have vowed, they have completed 1,142 of them, which means they have got less than 100 points left to get the sort of, should we say, moral victory for getting a 100% vow completion rate. After that, we've got the Gene Stealer Cult, which is 418 points, a fairly modest amount of points, but they probably do have a planned generations in the making, so we may see those points surge forward in the later months. And then we have the Stormtroopers, just 215 points, a very small amount, but we do have a couple of people doing their bit and making sure that their faction isn't getting whitewashed. And well done to those couple of blokes that are representing the Stormtroopers. I think a lot of people are vowing Stormtroopers within their regiment-specific vows, so that may go some way to explaining why the Stormtrooper points are fairly low. And last and sadly least, quite literally with the least amount of points, we have the Allegiants, who have a stonking 0 points vowed. Really surprised by that. I did think that maybe some people from the Drop Troops Discord would rally together and try and, you know, do a little bit of a fun raid on the Mording Glory Discord, but we haven't seen that take place so far. At the moment, the Allegiants are dead last. I would really like to see them pick up some points, even if it's just a token amount, but at the moment they have absolutely nothing vowed, which is a shame. If we were sticking to the original rules of the TTC and we were having the cutoff, we're not having that anymore, by the way, guys. You can get involved right up until the deadline. The Allegiants would be fixed with 0 points, which would be pretty crazy. As it is, they still have a couple of months to try and earn some honour, just a shred of honour, and get themselves back into the fight. But that covers the total points vowed, but what is more important is the total points actually completed. And in that case, it seems that the Cadians have got the best follow through. With 1,585 points completed, that's not a bad showing at all. That is about a quarter of their total points that they have managed to complete already, which is pretty bloody respectable. Following that, we can see that the Catachans also are pretty good at following through on the amount of points that they complete. Whilst they might be 5th overall in the total points vowed, they're actually 2nd when it comes to total points completed. Now, that could mean that if we ended the competition right now, the Catachans, despite the fact that they've got a relatively middling amount of points vowed, they're actually really good at making sure those vows are completed, which is really, really interesting. Following that, we've got the Vestorians, who have not only come in 3rd with 1,142 points completed, but like I said, they've got less than 100 points left in order to get a 100% completion rate, which is pretty cool. Now, Krieg, despite the fact that they are far and away on the total points vowed, have only got 1,000 points actually completed, which is pretty low. That's actually less than 1/8 of their total points vowed, which they've managed to complete. So we really need to see some of those Krieg boys not only talking the talk, but walking the walk. After that, we have the Valhallans, who, despite the fact being 3rd on total points vowed, are actually 5th when it comes to total points completed, with just 360. In fact, all of those points coming from a single person, that is user Iqbad, who managed to get 6 infantry squads done fairly early on. After that, we are waiting for any more progress from the Valhallan team. So, Icy boys, it's well and good saying you're going to make big vows, but you've actually got to follow them through, boys. So, hopefully we'll see the Valhallans pick that up. Likewise, we've got a little surprising upset here. We actually have the Gene Stealer Cult coming in 6th, which means they are in the top half of the total points completed. It might only be 90 points, but they have actually completed a vow, which is pretty good. So if you look at the difference between the total points vowed and total points completed, Gene Stealer Cult would be 9th or even 10th when it comes to total points vowed. When it comes to ones that have actually been completed, they're coming in 6th, which is pretty good. After that, basically it's the rest of the regiments which haven't completed a vow yet. So you've got the Mordians, the Steel Legions, Talan, the Heretics, the Stormtroopers, and of course the Elysians. So at that point, it's going to be interesting to see how the total points completed shapes up over the next couple of weeks and months, because I'd like to see some of these regiments that, like the Mordians, I think we need to get our first vow completed, and also I'd like to see some come in from the Steel Legion and Talan. I have seen some pretty good progress from the Renegades and Heretics though, so I don't believe they are far off getting their first vow completed, and when they do so, they are going to shoot up the leaderboard very, very quickly. So that covers all of the updates for the TTC. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has taken place so far. It's been really, really fun and just great for morale and boosting my own hobby mojo, seeing all of the vows coming in, seeing all of the vows being completed, the painting, the progress, all that kind of good stuff. It's been a ton of fun so far, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the TTC shapes up and to running more painting competitions in the future as well. Now, if you're thinking of getting involved in the TTC, or you're already involved and you're looking to beef up some of your future vows, then check out the Element Games link down in the description below. If you use my affiliate link, you'll be able to support the channel and you'll get 10 and 25% off all of your painting and hobbying needs. Essentially how it works, guys, is it costs you no more to use that link. Element Games gives me a little bit of a finder's fee for directing a customer their way, and it's a win-win for everyone. You guys get between 10 and 25% off all your painting stuff and all your models. I get a little bit of a finder's fee, and Element Games get a customer that they wouldn't normally get. So if you're looking for some hobby supplies, like I said, check the link down in the description below, and I've also got a referral code for you guys, and if you use that, then you will earn double store credit on your purchases, which means in the long run you'll be able to save even more money. So hopefully you guys will find that helpful. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all of the Patreon supporters and channel members. You guys are absolutely incredible, and of course, as always, I'll see you guys next time.